Right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. First off, the top stories. Dangote refinery slashes petrol prices by 15 naira nationwide. JAMB reviews 379,000 UTME receipt results. Police ready interim report on slain Oyo student await father's testimony. Akpabio Yahaya Bello to testify as FG sues Natasha for defamation. Also, APC governors endorsed Tinubu as sole administrator for 2027 elections. INEC creates AI division to boost credibility for 2027 elections. DSS tells court ESN is an illegal organization. Distinguish it from Amoteco. Details now. Thank you for staying with us. The world news begins on this very recent development where the Dangote refinery has announced a fresh reduction in the pump price of petrol, especially across the country, with new rates ranging now from 875 naira to 905 naira per litre, depending on the location. The new price range, which marks a 15 naira reduction per litre across all regions and partner retail outlets, was posted on the official social media handle of Dangote Refinery today. It applies to all major fuel marketers and partnership with the refinery, which includes MRS, Adova, Hayden, Optima Energy, Techno Oil, and Hyde Energy. While in its earlier pricing template, Lagos residents paid 890 naira per litre, while prices actually rose to 920 naira in the northeast and south regions. With the new adjustment, Lagos residents will now pay 875 naira per litre, while those in the northeast and south will pay 905 naira per litre. A breakdown of the revised prices shows Lagos will now pay 875, southwest 885, northeast 905 naira, northwest and north central 895 naira per litre, and south and southeast will now pay 905 naira per litre. The Dangote refinery urged consumers to purchase fuel only from its partner outlets and encouraged Nigerians to report non-compliance via its hotline. Meanwhile, the recent concluded recited JAMB examination, a final audit of the results of 379,000 candidates who say the rescheduled 2025 Unified Tertiary and Matriculation examination is being conducted ahead of the final release to the public today. While the audit team includes officials from the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, civil society organizations, academics, and other independent observers. A source who did not want his name named for lack of authorization disclosed the development to correspondence after the press briefing, which announced the completion of the receipt. Well, JAMB spokesman Dr. Benjamin Fabian had on Monday disclosed to correspondence that the result of the receipt UTME would be released on Wednesday. Findings, however, revealed that the results were being audited, hence the reason they were not released on Wednesday. Meanwhile, JAMB on Wednesday announced a fresh round of mop-up examinations to accommodate over 5.6% of candidates who missed the just concluded 2025 UTME. JAMB Registrar Professor Isha Koloyede said the initiative would cover all affected candidates regardless of the reason for their candidates and staff for their resilience amid logistical difficulties. He said, "We had limited space. We knew if we wasted more time grieving the challenges, students would lose their opportunity." The special mop-up exam will be scheduled soon, and JAMB says it remains committed to transparency and fairness in admission. Meanwhile, just very recent, the Oyo State Commissioner of Police, Johnson Adinola, today revealed that the interim report on the killing of 14-year-old West African Senior School Certificate Examination candidate Kainde Alade is already. However, he stated that a comprehensive report cannot be presented without the testimony of the key witness, who is also the deceased father, Odunayo Alade. The commissioner made this announcement at a joint press conference held at the police command in Eleyele, Ibadan, alongside the State Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Dr. Oyelade, and the State Chairman of the Road Transport Management Agency, Adekoya Adesagba. Also, Kainde, who residents said it was a very unfortunate situation where the trigger happy put the charge accused Akpoti Uduaghan of making defamatory allegations during a live broadcast on Channels Television Politics Today on April 3, 2025. All the witnesses listed to testify in the suit include Asukwo Ekpeyong, a senator, Sandra Duru, Maya Ilia, investigating police officers, and Abdulhafiz Garba, all investigating police officers. Akmabi and Bello were said to be the normal complainants. Natasha was suspended from the Senate on March 6 for gross misconduct following her sitting arrangement altercation with Akmabi. The lawmaker said she believed her suspension was illegal, unjust, and a way of silencing her. She also rejected the Senate's position that she was not suspended over her sexual harassment claim. Over the weeks that followed, the Kogi senator made several allegations and submitted petitions against the Senate president. Also, in April, Akpabio had petitioned the Inspector General of Police, Kaide Egbetokun, over the assassination allegation leveled against him by Akpoti Uduaghan. He demanded an immediate investigation and prosecution of Akpoti Uduaghan under relevant laws for criminal defamation, incitement, false accusation, and conduct likely to cause a breach of peace. Bello had also petitioned the IG, the Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodinma, who is also the chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, announced the decision. He emphasized that the governors had collectively agreed that President Tinubu should be the APC's candidate for the 2027 elections. The motion for Tinubu's endorsement was moved by Governor Uzodinma and seconded by Kaduna State Governor Ubasani. After the motion was proposed, the question was put to the gathering and was met with an overwhelming yes vote. Also, although President Tinubu is currently in the middle of his first term, discussions regarding his potential re-election have been dominating the political landscape. In a statement released by the Commission's National Commissioner for Information and Voter Education Committee, Sam Olumekun, said the Commission in its meeting noted the positive aspects of AI in enhancing decision-making, risk management, and safeguarding intelligence. He added that the integration of AI in the Commission's electoral management was part of its efforts in electoral reforms. You're currently listening to the World News at 6 right here on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. We'll take a very short break. When we return, we'll head into the news analysis segment as well as other news. Do kindly stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. This is still the World News right here on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Tensions ran high today at the Federal High Court in Abuja as the long-running trial of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, sluggish pace and lack of preparedness. The judge 6 days within 2 weeks and present all your witnesses. If you fail to do so, I will strike out your case as weak. The judge disclosed firmly, prompting murmurs of approval and surprise from those in the packed courtroom. The latest hearing began with a cross-examination of the prosecution's second witness, but was also expected to be a pivotal session quickly unraveled as the witness struggled to answer questions directly, often repeating, "I don't know," and offering contradictory statements with mounting concerns over his credibility. The court discharged the witness. Matters took a turn for the worse, 18th and 19th up until the 20th of June. Now, the Department of State Services as well informed the Federal High Court in Abuja that the Eastern Security Network, the paramilitary wing of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, is an illegal organization with no legal standing. During the ongoing trial of Nnamdi Kanu, a DSS operative also identified as BBB testified under cross-examination for prosecution counsel Adegboyega Awimolo. The operative clarified the status of ESN, stating, and I quote, "My lord, while the ESN is not a registered organization recognized by law, Amotekun was established following the law passed by the respective houses of assembly in the affected states. BBB differentiated ESN from Amotekun, the southwestern security outfit that was legally created by state assemblies to address local security challenges, including kidnapping and farmer herder crisis. In the course of cross-examination by Defense Counsel Paul Erukuru, the court admitted a certified true copy of the Lagos State Judicial Panel of Inquiry on NSAS as Exhibit PWUO. The defense also tendered a flash drive and a certificate of compliance, which were admitted as exhibits PWP and PWI, respectively. As part of the proceedings, a video was played in court featuring statements from DSS Director General Adiola Oluwatosin Ajayi, the Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma, former Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant T.Y. Danjuma, where they called for increased collaboration between communities and security agencies, stressing that communities must defend themselves alongside authorities. Meanwhile, Senate President Godswill Akpabio has passed a vote of confidence on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on behalf of the National Assembly. Speaking today during the National Summit at the Banquet Hall of the Presidential Villa in Abuja, which was organized by the All Progressives Congress, Akpabio submitted that Tinubu has performed well in office since assuming power in 2023. Akpabio added that President Tinubu would easily win re-election in 2027, unlike in 2023 when he faced some challenges. The Senate President submitted that the National Assembly had no reason to issue a notice in whatever form, under whatever circumstances as it may present itself. He also assured that, for example, they will not be giving the President any notice of impeachment. We are giving him notice that it was difficult for you in 2023, but in 2027, however, it is not going to be. I see everything turning around. The number of states that are coming to join you are getting more increased. Akpabio hinted that more politicians are willing to join the APC, citing an example of a named senator of the Labour Party. According to Akpabio today, he revealed, "As I was leaving, one senator was dragging my dress today. He said, 'Please take me there.' And I said, 'You can't come now.' He is a Labour senator, but I don't want to mention his name," Akpabio added in response to hailing the president and offering the Senate a smooth run. Well, while trying to contact my analyst this evening, rather, in the process, pertinent questions are meant to be asked. One of that is the fact that the federal government is now going head-on with Akpoti Uduaghan, the suspended Kogi State senator. And it's also funny because the people, that is the defense counsel or the prosecuting counsel, presented two persons or witnesses who testified in court today. One of them is actually Yahaya Bello. He is undergoing scrutiny by the EFCC. We've not heard anything about his prosecution by the EFCC. You'll recall that the EFCC chairman, Uluyede, had said that if Yahaya Bello is not duly prosecuted, he will definitely resign. For quite a while now, Yahaya Bello his case has been quiet. Well, he was brought to the court today as a witness, saying that Natasha Akpoti falsely accused him for planning to assassinate her when she was supposed to come for a rally in her state. Also, she called out Godswill Akpabio, the Senate President, as well, saying that he also corroborated for the inciting statements and also defamation of character and assassination attempt. In that regard, the federal government brought out the exhibits of her officially stating that via a monitored television program, which obviously the Akpabio petitioned the IG of police, Kaide Egbetokun, over these assassination allegations leveled against him by Akpoti Uduaghan. Also, the Yahaya Bello, the former governor of Kogi State, who is also under investigation by the EFCC, is alleging that Natasha Akpoti accused him of initiating her recall process as well as planning to assassinate her, thereby using a mob attack or a mob coverage to cover up the alleged assassination attempt. Some witnesses, or rather persons who will testify against Akpoti Uduaghan, is a Sandra Duru, if you recall, also known as Professor Nweke, who made some certain allegations that Natasha Akpoti sent her messages on WhatsApp planning to frame Godswill Akpabio and accuse him of murder, and saying that she would make sure that he steps down as the governor, or he steps down as a Senate president. In that regard, the federal government instituted a panel, if you would recall, of the National Security Advisor. Also, they set up a panel whereby Kashim Shettima, the vice president, headed the panel, as well as the Attorney General of the Federation. This is a presidential panel meant to investigate the imbroglio between Natasha Akpoti and Godswill Akpabio. Godswill Akpabio had to step aside while that presidential panel was set up to investigate the matter. In also another development as well that I would want my analysts to help respond to us if we're able to take that due to the time frame or duration of the world news is concerning the presentation today in court by Nnamdi Kanu. Well, as you can tell, the prosecuting counsel brought in their witness, a DSS person or someone who works with the DSS, a DSS operative. In court today, this DSS operative disclosed that, for example, during cross-examination, they asked vital questions as to what exactly can he stipulate the inciting statements, and how can he prove that whatever statement Nnamdi Kanu made is what caused some buildings and properties to be burnt in Lagos. He said he doesn't know. He also went ahead to ask questions about his viability or the authentication of some of the allegations made in court, and obviously he could not respond to some of the things that were asked him. The DSS witness, or the DSS witness who was responding to questions, also disclosed as well that, for example, in the course of the conversation or in the course of the course examination, that some of the inciting statements that were made by Nnamdi Kanu based on the flash drive presented by the prosecution counsel to be played in court, the DSS also said that some of the things that were stipulated he could not testify to. The DSS operative had actually assured Nigerians that they had better go about securing their safety, as they cannot expect the Nigerian police and the Nigerian security to be everywhere at the same time. Former Chief of Army Staff Tuwan Danjuma also said the same thing, and he could not respond to that question at that particular time. Meanwhile, the judge gave a fresh warning, asking the prosecuting counsel to ensure that all the witnesses that they were supposed to bring, they should trim it down. The judge also accused the prosecution counsel of deliberately delaying the process, as they want to expedite the process and end the trial soon, being the fact that Nnamdi Kanu has been in court for a very, very long time. These are some of the processes to be asked. Also, the witness, the authentication of the witness brought in, and some questions that he couldn't respond to, and some allegations that he made earlier during cross-examination. The defense counsel asked vital questions as to where and when and how, during the course of the investigation, could he tie certain references or inferences from some of the expletives he claimed were made by Nnamdi Kanu to tie to any realistic incident that could be a cause for possibly detaining him with the DSS. These and more are some of the questions we want to also talk about. Also, the DSS said that the Eastern Security Network is not a legal security network, as it did not go through the process like Amotekun, and told the court literally that it's a proscribed group, as the security outfit didn't go through the process of registration, approval from the National Assembly, the Senate, or even the presidency. These are some of the questions that we would have loved to ask. However, we need to round up the world news at 6 this evening, as we actually need to continue with other interesting programming. So, more news today as it stands. 5 state governors and party bigwigs have actually chosen their preferred candidates. In the first instance, these candidates were mentioned for some Southeast governors as well as the presidency for 2027. While the 2027 permutation is still on, political bigwigs are asking the federal government to remember that they have governance which is at its focus or its fulcrum, and that it's also important that these issues are addressed. Otherwise, elections in 2027 may not be the focus. Other things as to survival may be the focus. Meanwhile, the Tiv Area Traditional Council has issued a directive ordering all headers to vacate Tiv lands by the end of May 2025. The council had cited ongoing attacks on farmers, growing concerns over food insecurity in Benue State and across the country as the main reasons for the decision. The resolution was made following an emergency meeting at the Palace of the Tortiv in Boko, which was presided over by His Royal Majesty, Professor James Otese Lozua Ayase. The meeting was attended by all greater traditional rulers from across the Tiv Kingdom. In the communique, which was issued after the meeting and signed by the council secretary, Shinyi Tuwaza, Abuja. The monarchs expressed deep concerns over the persistent attacks on farmers by armed headers, especially in the local government areas of Kwande, Katsina Ala, Logo, Ukum, Guma, Makodi, Were West, Were East, and Buruku. The Tiv Traditional Council called for the immediate withdrawal of headers from Tiv lands to allow farmers to resume their activities. They stressed that the safety of farmers and the success of the 2025 planting season must be prioritized. The council also appealed to traditional political leaders in the affected local government areas to engage in peaceful dialogue with headers to ensure the relocation happens without violence. The council further appealed to the state government to create an enabling environment for the peaceful exit of the headers from tea farmlands, facilitating the return of farmers to their lands and ensuring the continuity of agricultural activities. And now to wrap up the world news at 6, here again are the top stories. You heard that Dangote refinery has slashed petrol prices by 15 naira nationwide. JAMB reviews 379,000 UTME receipt results. Also, police already ready interim report on slain Oyo student. Await father's testimony. Akpabio Yahaya Bello to testify as FG sues Natasha Akpoti for defamation. Also, APC governors endorsed Tinubu as sole candidate for 2027.